Although President Trump has yet to follow through on his threat to send National Guard troops to Chicago, ICE has increased its presence in the area as the immigration crackdown intensifies. Friday, federal agents used tear gas to disperse protesters outside of a suburban ICE processing center. And one state lawmaker is going viral for standing up to the agents she says were targeting families in a West Chicago suburb.
Stay in your cars! Tell everyone to stay in your houses! Don't open your doors if there's not a warrant! City! This is my city, that's right! Take off your mask! Take off your mask! What? Inside of your houses, everyone, do not come out!
And joining us now is that state senator of Illinois, Karina Villa, along with Futuro Media Group founder Maria Hinojosa. Thank you both for joining us this morning. Karina, I want to ask you to walk us through that emotional and powerful video and sort of the impetus for those actions that you took this week.
I think that the impetus for that comes directly from the fact that I was a school social worker in that community. I was a school social worker for 15 years in working class communities, as well as coming from immigrant parents. In that moment, all I thought of was I needed to make sure to keep my community safe, keep the students safe. There were buses on their way to school that I wasn't thinking with my head, I was thinking with my heart.
Hey, Maria, I want you to listen to what the Border Patrol chief had to say about what the state senator did. Watch this.
When I see this, I think she really needs to see someone. She may need some help. As far as taking our masks off, that's to keep our Border Patrol agents and ICE officers safe, with a 1,000% increase in assaults against federal agents doing operations such as this.
I mean, I think I know who the person who actually needs help. But Maria, your reaction to that?
That is just the worst possible comment that could come out of a man's mouth, period. But then specifically towards a Latina to basically say, tú estás loca, you're crazy. I was with Senator Karina Villa just hours after that moment, and we talked about what that experience was like, because I know, because of my own trauma here in New York City post 9/11, what that feeling is when you're taking to the streets and you're screaming. Nobody wants to be in that situation. And that is the kind of trauma that I saw in Senator Karina Villa's moment. And frankly, it has made her a hero in the city of Chicago. And more importantly, right, these are the suburbs of Chicago. These are not poor Latinos who are not working. These are the suburbs, the western suburbs of Chicago. So let's be clear that this is a very specific target against Latinos and Latinas who are actually contributing to the city of Chicago, the suburbs, and frankly, the country.
Maria, we were just talking about the Trump administration's attack on African Americans and this picture that tells you everything you need to know about slavery and the Civil War. And what I can't get out of my head is that all of these things are very connected for me. And the thing that connects them is a callousness. You've been in Chicago and you have been talking to people there. And I'm curious what you have gleaned from them and other folks you've been talking to about what it does to you, to the psyche of a person, to watch themselves be, and the people that look like them, be treated with such callousness by the federal government, the agents of the state, and people that have guns and other arms as they are running through their cities.
Look, I grew up in the city of Chicago. I'm a proud Mexican immigrant from Mexico City, but the south side of Chicago is my home. And what's really important in terms of what the relationship that you were saying about our history is that Black and Latino unity in the city of Chicago will only grow thanks to Donald Trump and his Republican Party. So that is something that he and his Republican Party has feared, that unity of Black and brown people coming together. Chicago is a city of neighborhoods, and we do not like outsiders coming to tell us how to run our city. So this is going to have, right now, the trauma, I posted actually right after that first day on the ground in Chicago, I posted about the fact that there are little Anne Franks, right? Anne Frank in Chicago. Her name is Anita Franco, and she is terrified. And Senator Villa knows that because those are her constituents, little girls and boys who are afraid to come out of their homes. On the other hand, people who have privilege with citizenship, you can see that they will defend the city of Chicago against this assault, and they will defend the suburbs of the city of Chicago as well.
And we have President Trump this week again threatening to send the National Guard to Chicago. Senator Villa, I want to ask you, how are you preparing for the possibility of the Trump administration sending the National Guard to your city? And how do you think that's going to exacerbate the issues that are already very clearly playing out? I mean, there have been several instances of violence reported, and just this week there were ICE officers in a fatal shooting who weren't wearing body cameras that resulted in a citizen who was trying to resist arrest and flee ICE being killed.
The death of Silverio Villegas Gonzalez was a travesty. He left 2 young children that he was raising behind. What we're seeing with that pepper spray that's being thrown at the protesters, that's also blocking the media from recording this moment. All of these things together, we see that our freedoms are being eroded right before our eyes. We have ICE agents putting their hands on the triggers of their weapons as people are peacefully protesting in Broadview. So when you say, what are we doing to prepare for the moment if the administration decides to send more troops to Illinois, we are in preparation by doing the actions that we are doing right now. People are coming to the streets, allies, people who are citizens, people who are retired are coming to the streets to protect their neighbors, and that's what we are going to continue to do.
Is it safe, though, Senator, to be doing that?
Right now, it is not safe to be brown. Right now, it is not safe to be black. Right now, it is not safe to speak up and speak out. But we cannot stay hidden and fearful. We need to be out and witness these moments safely and at a distance. We need to record what is happening in this moment.
And let's just be clear that what happened in Chicago with the murder of Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, sole custody of his children. You have to be an exemplary father to get sole custody of your 2 children. This is a line in the sand that has been crossed. 2 people died in California over ICE raids. 1 ran into traffic. The other fell off a roof. This was a man running who was shot. So let's be very clear. A line in the sand has been crossed, and Silverio, sadly, will not be the only one.
Illinois State Senator Karina Vega and Maria Hinojosa, thank you so much for coming on The Weekend.